Yo, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be building my friend's first custom mechanical keyboard. Oh, things aren't starting off too well. The packaging appears to be in pretty rough shape, and from what I was told, the package arrived in this state. Many people who ordered this board also received their boxes in a damaged condition. Usually I would open up the box and show you its contents, but I think the box's condition is a little unsavory, so I'll spare you the time. Let's just go ahead and check out what we get inside the box. Here we have the bottom portion of the case. It's nice and simple, and you can see the indentations for the gasket strips that we'll be inserting later. On a side note, there was a scratch right under the Chaos logo that only shows if the light hits it just right. Next up, we have a hot swap PCB because hot swap is just superior. It's actually very beautifully designed, and the flex cuts around the alphas should hopefully give the board some flex when typing. Then we have a layer of foam that goes between the plate and PCB. I find it interesting that one side has a soft finish while the other has a glossy finish. This is a carbon fiber plate, which I think is really cool and nicely done. The base kit also came with other plate options such as brass, polycarbonate, and FR4. Then we have our top case. It's nicely rounded off at the corners that match the corners of the bottom case, and the bevels around the edges add a bit of dimension to the board's top-down view. It was on the top piece that I noticed some slight scratches as well. Nothing too major, but definitely noticeable if you pay enough attention. The beautiful polished brass Chaos badge is honestly one of the standout pieces of this board. It really draws your eyes to the bottom of the case once it has been installed, and it also adds some additional heft to the board. The other standout piece of this board are the two corner accent pieces. These are also polished brass and help bring some character to the board's side profile. Now while the polished brass does look quite beautiful, it would have been nice to see if other color accent pieces could have been offered to allow for further customization. The kit also comes along with a hardware bag with different length screws mixed in together. It also comes with gasket strips as well as rubber feet for the board. I'm going to go ahead and start installing the rubber feet so I won't have to worry about scratching the bottom of the case any further. Next up, I'm going to be installing the gasket strips into the indentations of the bottom case. When you do this, just make sure you take your time and line up the gaskets nicely, and once it's on, give it a pat down to make sure that it stays in place. After all the gaskets on the bottom have been applied, I'll move on to the top. There should be 8 gaskets on the bottom and 8 gaskets on top, making for a total of 16 gaskets. Now let's go ahead and insert the Chaos logo, being very careful not to scratch the weight. To secure the weight to the case, we'll be using 4 small black screws that came with the kit. Now moving on to the stabilizers, we have some Durock V2s. They come with beautiful gold wiring, red washers, and gold hardware. Now I'm just going to apply some generous amount of Krytox 205G0 to the stabilizer housing, stem, and wire. For the switches, we're going to go with some stock Everglide Aqua Kings. These have been touted for their great out-of-the-box smoothness, and I've been really interested in trying them. And I'm also super excited to have an excuse not to lube. So now let's get to testing the stabilizers and see how we did. Not bad at all, so let's go ahead and start putting the rest of the board back together. Just a quick note, the foam that goes between the plate and PCB needed a good amount of modification around the stabilizers to fit properly, so please keep that in mind when you are building the board. Next, we're going to be putting in the accent pieces. There are grooves on the bottom case to help you center them. Now we go ahead and just plop the PCB and plate combo into the bottom case, making sure that the port is properly positioned. And finally, we have the top case. It just goes on and sandwiches the plate and PCB. Almost done, now we just have to screw the whole thing together. Let's get to that right now. Throw on some keycaps and we call that a day. So this right here is the Chaos 65 brought to you by ThomasLT Studios. The board is very simple and elegant, with the main attractions being the board's side profile and backside. From the top down, you'll notice that the board has bezels that are larger on the top and bottom, with the side bezels being slightly smaller to give the board a slimmer appearance. I really like the blocker separating the arrow keys because it gives the board a little bit more breathing room and things won't look too cramped. The board's typing experience is really pleasant for those of you who enjoy a slightly stiffer typing feel. This could be due to the carbon fiber plate not allowing the board's gaskets and the PCB flex cuts to do their job fully. With that being said, for those of you who chose different plate options, you'll probably have varying results. And finally, I do think the board is just a little bit hollow, but I'll let you guys see if you can hear it during the sound test portion of this video. As a last note, I'd like to talk about the QC issues that were encountered by some people who ordered this board. Firstly, we already saw the box's condition when I first received it, and while the particular board that I built had relatively little scratches or blemishes, I know others did not get so lucky. Other noticeable QC issues that I was made aware of was that on some boards, there would be a gap between the top and bottom case, which I understand to be pretty off-putting. With all this being said, for being ThomasLT Studio's first entry into this hobby, this is a stunning keyboard with really desirable qualities. All that needs to be improved is the QC process, and I think we will have yet another company we can look forward to more products from. Before heading to the sound test, I just want to thank you guys for watching this video. I spent a lot of time and effort to produce these videos, and if you enjoyed them, do me a huge favor and hit the like and subscribe button. If there's something that you think I can improve on, feel free to drop a comment down below and I will make sure to read them all. Thank you guys and have a good one.